This year, the United States has withdrawn a total of 8 licenses, and TSMC has recently stopped supplying 7 nm AI chips. This seems to be a nightmare for Chinese companies. However, in the face of the fierce pressure, Chinese companies did not give any response this time, and Qualcomm has given the answer. Faced with the increasingly fierce supply cutoff measures, Qualcomm can no longer endure it and directly released a harsh statement. If the authorization of 5G technology is not restored, then there's no need to continue shipping 4G chips. The implication is very clear. If the authorization is not given, all cooperation will be abandoned. Qualcomm clearly called on Huawei not to completely abandon cooperation with Snapdragon chips, and said that it would do everything it could to carry out in-depth cooperation. It is obvious that Qualcomm cannot do without Chinese customers and needs the Chinese market to maintain revenue, and being able to resume cooperation with Huawei has become the key. This may seem like a simple complaint from Qualcomm, but it represents the impending crisis of American chips. The development of American companies in the chip field has long entered a bottleneck period. Intel's x86 architecture has long fallen from the altar. Although Apple's chips are good, they are not sold to the outside world. NVIDIA's AI chips have been completely banned. Only Qualcomm can show off. Everyone is familiar with Qualcomm. Although its main business is in the communications field, and it has made a lot of money with technology licensing, it is the chip business that really makes this company outstanding. After the rise of Chinese mobile phones, Qualcomm has also counterattacked to become the world's largest chip manufacturer, but now it seems that this hard-won glory may not be able to be maintained. After the chip rules were revised, Qualcomm was the first to jump up and down to oppose it. You must know that its share in the Chinese market has reached $7 billion. It can be said that before the birth of Kirin chips, Snapdragon chips completely monopolized the Chinese mobile phone chip market. After the shipment restrictions, such a good situation disappeared, and Chinese manufacturers are accelerating their departure from American chip products. MediaTek took advantage of the situation and rose to become the world's largest chip manufacturer, directly replacing Qualcomm. MediaTek chips can be seen everywhere in domestic mobile phones. After Huawei eliminated the US technology, Chinese companies such as Xiaomi, OPPO, and Vivo are also rapidly promoting the application of domestic chips. China has already achieved autonomy in small chips and car chips. Last year, Qualcomm Snapdragon chips could still be seen in Huawei phones, but after the return of Kirin 9000S, the situation changed. It is difficult to find traces of Qualcomm chips on Huawei devices. This is why Qualcomm jumped out to fight for Huawei's shipment authorization. Qualcomm's harsh words obviously have some gold content. Now it has become the external facade of American chips and the key to whether it can make money in the Chinese market. This is also the reason why Nvidia is fully restricted from shipping, while Qualcomm has been repeatedly tolerated. But after Huawei's chip breakthrough, Qualcomm's role began to be minimal. Among the 8 Huawei licenses withdrawn this year, Qualcomm was one of them. Anyway, it was going to lose the Chinese market, so Qualcomm naturally had to give it a try and asked the United States to release 5G authorization in exchange for this last possibility. But Huawei will not give Qualcomm another chance. After the return of Kirin 9000S, it was once mistaken for a flash in the pan, but a few months later, the arrival of Kirin 9010 and 9020 directly shattered the rumors from the outside world. Obviously, Huawei already has the ability to manufacture high-end chips. The advantage that the United States has maintained for nearly half a century was shattered in an instant. China has not only achieved self-sufficiency in chips, but also achieved reverse exports. According to statistics, the export volume of domestic chips has increased by 20% this year, and this data will continue to expand in the future. The domestically developed N+1 N+2 process, combined with Huawei's self-developed chip stacking process, will realize the manufacturing of 7 nanometers chips without any problems. After a series of breakthroughs, the US chip industry is completely in crisis. They didn't take advantage of the opportunities one gave them, so China can't be blamed. In short, Qualcomm threatened to give up cooperation with Huawei if it didn't get 5G authorization. After Huawei's chip breakthrough, the US chip industry fell into crisis. China accelerated its self-developed chips, and the export volume of domestic chips soared. It is no longer a problem to achieve 7 nanometers manufacturing. What do you think about this?